So we would like to acknowledge that the land on which we gather has been and still is the traditional territory of several indigenous nations, including the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee Confederation, the Wendat, the Métis, and the Mississauga of the First Credit Nations. Since time immemorial, numerous indigenous nations and indigenous have lived and passed through this territory. We recognize that this territory, covered by the One Dish, One Spoon Treaty and the Two Rum Pond Treaty, which emphasizes the importance of joint stewardship, peace, and respectful relationships. Sheridan affirms that it's our collective responsibility to honor and respect those who has gone before us, those who are here, and those who have yet to come. We are grateful for this opportunity to be working and living on this land. So a quick Zoom orientation. Please mute your mic when you're not speaking so we can minimize background noise. But since it's a conversation base, you can use the reaction tools to raise your hands or even write in the chat and Garrett can ask you to speak. And webcam is not mandatory, but is encouraged just to give it a more personal feel. Type in the chat box and the session will be recorded. So our agenda today, we just did the introductions and welcome. Not really a presentation today, more of a Q&A. So for those of you who don't know, EDGE is a EDGE is a growth and discovery engine right out of Sheridan College. We empower those who connect creativity, innovation, and entrepreneurship. We strengthen the region's innovation ecosystems through collaborations and impact entrepreneur expertise. We also support entrepreneurs through programs, sessions, and resources from Sheridan College. So these are our programs at EDGE: Explore, Leap, Rise, and Soar. It starts from the ideation process to growing your venture. Today, we have Garrett Hall. He is a business development and marketing professional with extensive business expertise. He is also a marketing professor at Sheridan College. I'd like to thank Garrett for coming here and talking more about digital marketing. And I hand it off to you.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. So today, what's happening here is, I know some of you, a lot of you have gone to my introductory marketing sessions, and I'm laboring a bit too much, I think. And when I try to go a little more detailed, we don't really have a line, sort of a scaffolding yet for the digital sort of workshops and things. So I thought this was a great way to kind of hack that you know, you can ask the question. And what I'm hoping, please, is I'm hoping we'll bring almost cases up. Each of you brings up a case or what your issue is. And I'm hoping everybody jumps in. So I'm thinking this conversational, like I know my pieces and things that I know, but I know all of you, most of you are actually involved in digital, that you'll jump in with any tips you have as well. We kind of work our way through each one. I'll kind of push it along so we don't get snagged down too much on any one issue, because I want to sort of spread it around. And then if the issue's boring and you're falling asleep, you can just kind of tune out of it, I'm thinking. Go grab your coffee and come back. And that is the format. Any requests on that format? Yeah, I mean, this is wide open. What does somebody want? Is that working for everybody? You want to see me adjust it in some way? Yes, no? Diane's talking, but I can't. Oh, and is people? Yeah, I can't hear you. Yeah. Somebody talking? No. She's just smiling at us. Okay, Diane's smiling. Hi, Diane. Like harassing you. Okay, so why don't we begin? And I know you've sent some questions, but let's do it. The first, and this is the first one. I'm quite excited. Conversational. I think we should have called this Conversational Digital Marketing Chats with Garrett, but that would be my branding for the next one. So let's go for it. Somebody come in with their issue and let us all be superstars and solve the issue. Diana wants in there first, out of the gate.
Hi.
Diana.
I'm working on my landing page, and I have this story set out, okay, in my mind, what I want to say. One very first question I have is, what are your thoughts about using video?
Excellent.
Still
but entirely or a video embedded in your landing page?
Yeah, embedded. See, look, I'm
definitely. Yes, 100%.
So I'm looking at, now I've been told like using video isn't great either. Like, okay, for example, the banner, okay? Okay, let's start at the top. On top of the full, let's start on the banner image, okay? First off, should I be illustrating like the most beautiful jacket strap at the market like shot, or should I be like putting an image of the problem, which is I'm hot and I gotta hold my jacket if I have to take it off. But
okay, Diana, I'm gonna let me do a quick overview and let's see if I cover the questions or not. How's that sound? Want me to go through the top?
Okay.
And then you can grab any pieces I've missed.
Okay.
So I gave everybody a link to sort of aspects or resources for building a landing page. So I knew I was going to share a screen, so I'm going to share a screen here. And let me get this out of the way. And I am going to get the new browser there. Let's share a screen. Oh, I'm going to have to attack. Diana, I need you to give me powers. Host disabled participant screen sharing. And you may want to open up, do you know the hell to do that or not? You're probably, what the hell?
Give me 1 second. Let me stop sharing my screen.
Okay, cool. Share the screen. Oh, I'm still disabled. So somewhere in the, who knows this bloody Zoom, how Tiana could open up screen sharing. I think everybody should have it in this case. Who knows? Who's a Zoom expert?
If you click on the security button, it should be in the first one after start video. There should be something you can check mark there called share screen.
It should be working. It says all participants can share.
Let me try now. Yeah, I'm there now. Good, it's working. Awesome, thank you. Let's go over here, share. So everybody can see this screen, I hope. Yes, I'll get the chat out of there. And what I'm going to do is open up a guide that I like. Actually, I'm going to get a better guide. So everybody, it's going to take me a bit because the random questions I won't quite be ready. So I'm giving myself a little bit of defense here. I know when I'm doing classes, if I hesitate for more than 5 minutes, the entire class goes and I don't see them again. So I'm always terrified. I've been traumatized by my teaching. Once you do that one hard break, everybody just leaves the class entirely, and maybe I'm just sort of ranting in a bitter fashion. So we'll just leave it at that. So what I did, and again, this is my evaluation, and you know, anything can kind of work. So Diana, let's cover off what's going on, okay? The first thing is, let us, I'm going to bring up a nice landing page that I like, an example. It's really busy, but I found that it sold me, so it's subjective. So you see this landing page here, everybody. What we're looking at is called above the fold. So above the fold is when you first go on a page, what you're going to see, that's above the fold. And then below the fold is when you first land on a page, that top part is above the fold, and everything below is called below the fold. And I always recommend that somebody says, hey, that's way too long. But the thing is, if you create your landing page with sequencing that basically somebody could activate above the fold, great. And I'll cover off this a bit more. As you scroll down, there's a sequencing going on that people may have issues or concerns or questions, and you keep driving your way down. And the thing is, you have calls to action, so they can jettison out anytime to your call to action or leave the page. And it comes from my disposition. I started in direct marketing, which I think is really the precursor to digital marketing. And the one thing we always said is long copy is better than short. And for SEO, long copy is better than short in my view. So let's go over these. So you see this thing here, and let me cover off the elements. So Diana, and again, I'll go general. I think we have to go back, but I just want to cover off anything that at this stage, you just go through a very high level. So above the fold should be almost self-contained. And Diana, see this video sitting here, right there. There we go. So there's a video. So you see the choice of clicking the video is the participant's notion. So who gives a crap? If I want more information and I right here, I want to not scroll the page and want to get information, I'm going to click that video. So I think whoever says don't put video in there, I'm going to strongly disagree. And I'm going to say the video depends upon what you're doing. And for you with that jacket strap, I think you want to show it in action in that video. So I strongly disagree with your other advisor.
Excellent. And, I really want to put a video right at the top.
Yeah, I could see it right there, showing it in action. That would be awesome. Like you and the kids going through a mall or something and popping it out, and maybe another situation. Like give me about 10 uses. I would love to see that there.
Now,
and it doesn't. But I'm saying they can click it too. The option sits there. You have a nice screen image on it that they make a choice to click it or not.
So make sure that screen image though is like the perfect shot though, the very first.
Yeah, it could be like the 10 things our jacket does or something, or you have to think that through. But if they want to, see our jacket strap in action or something, so you make the choice of what you want to do for that screen thing, and it's their choice to click it.
Okay, I like this. Instinct.
Yeah. And I think you're right in your instinct. And what I dislike is, and you'll see some of the bigger companies can do this. You go to a landing page for Coca-Cola or something, and they can do thin content. But if you're a new business, forget it. You don't have any trust or authority. You've got to convince them. Don't think you can do the same game that Budweiser or somebody could do, where they give 6 or 7 elements and click here, or even HubSpot, even, well, they usually have good content. You know what I mean? Bigger entities have a luxury that you don't have. So if you look to the above the fold, there's elements that are needed are, and this is coming from Neil Patel's sheet, and where the hell? Let's go over here. Oh, shit. Oh, here's the worksheet. Open that up. So what you need is a nice, and I'll go over these elements quickly, and I'll leave below the fold just for you to go through. So what I did is I spent about 2-3 hours kind of researching people talking about landing pages and some examples. And again, a lot of those examples suck. I think they were way too thin. There was no SEO value. And I found the problem that, let me just say this, on a landing page, people will come to your page, and if you don't answer their question, they're going somewhere else for somebody else who will answer their question. So why not? More information is better than less, because if you don't cover them off, they're going to go somewhere else. They have another, in that search of, strap to hold up jacket for kids, there's going to be, I don't know how many impressions, but I'm going to bet you there's probably 300, 400,000, maybe 1 million pages coming up. They got a lot of options here. So don't cheat them out. And even if you drive them to that page and, you do it through, you can, drive them directly to it, they may, again, just head out. So don't cheapen them out on information. If you don't give it to them, they're going to get it somewhere else. So don't mess around trying to be cute or something, or trying to tease them. All that stuff, in my view, is crap. Do not play around. Give them everything they want to know. So we have a headline. So above the fold, there's a nice headline that's a catchy sort of, drive in interest, and make sure, and again, don't be too cute. Tell them exactly what's going on. When somebody comes to your page, they're there for about half a second. And if you are confusing or you don't hook them, they have left, especially if they're coming in off SEO. Maybe if they're more qualified and they're more hungry, they'll dig around. But so don't mess around. A nice, catchy headline. And then below that headline, there's something of the nature where you sort of do a sub-headline that drives a bit more detail. Still catchy, because this is above the fold, and you're trying to grab them on that first entry. And then your next move can be an image. That image could be replaced by a video or some sort of highly valuable visual element. So maybe it could be a chart showing how something works, or, you know what I mean? You're going to give them some more information above that fold. And then you've got a point where maybe you have, 5 or 6 sentences where there's a little more detail that should close off any last questions above the fold. And a call to action is going to be sitting there in some form above the fold. So you can see what we've done above the fold. You've set up all the elements for somebody who is ripe for a purchase. So you've given them what they need to know if they have a sense, or maybe they're already pre-qualified. Maybe you did a Google ad and you know they're in a buy function and you know that they're ripe for picking off. So that's above the fold. And then you go below, and this here is probably going to be more dispute because given I was looking through, I saw a lot of different versions and things. And the problem with the client and my mentoring, everybody has their own version and everybody can kind of make theirs work. So it's not really, there's not a definitive guide. So trust signals where maybe you show logos of major entities. Let's say some software and IBM is your partner or something, that's going to go there. Maybe you have a case that you could present, guarantee. So you're trying to get trust elements. And the other one, again, maybe a further explanation that for the product or service that would sort of bring them about to still have questions. You could push out some benefits, like how the product will help them, looking at the value proposition where you're tying into the persona or your target audience and the problems they have, and you're outlining the product solution. So you could go further with the benefits to them. You could then do testimonials, are always powerful if you could find some. And then you're going to go down to, throughout all this, you have calls to actions that could be layered through as they scroll down. So you should probably, every couple screens going down, have another call to action. You say, hey, if you're ready, go here or whatever. And then what you're going to do in your landing pages, I recommend, is that you do A/B testing. So you could do one, and while you do that one, you could have another version that maybe if you're pushing it on your social media, you could use an A or a B. If you're doing SEO, you could do different keyword phrases. And that is it in a nutshell. Let me show you what I liked again. So see above the fold, I've got a call to action up top, order now. I've got a video telling what I'm going to do. I've got a strong, catchy headline. And going down, you can see we do have a smaller description there. And then you see we have, it's a little bit below the fold, but they can still get it, a greater description. So that really is what I'm talking about above the fold elements, is everything that I'm showing you here. And then you'll see it goes down talking about benefits, more benefits, features and benefits. Here we're going into kind of a features list. They're going to give you some sort of information or a hero paper related to their product or service. So somebody who maybe is not ready at all today could download that. You're going to get, so you see they continuously keep driving it in. They go into testimonials. Let's see if they get any trust signals going on here. So they even show you more information on the use of the funnels. Again, another call to action, but I believe if I probably click that, maybe they're going to collect my information for CRM. And so you're going down further. So they just keep hitting with more and more information and great things it'll do for you. And let's keep going down. So create an account. So even a harder call to action. And you see they just keep giving you more and more. They got a final thing, a guarantee. Sorry, Dan, I'm going to finish this off and I'm going to jump right into your questions. And it goes across everything. So they go with a hard call to action on the end because everybody at this point is ready to go. Okay, so that's a landing page in a nutshell. And Diana, back to you.
I just was wondering, because your example there is very text heavy, right? Is it better to use more text or more images?
See, so this is a good question. And what it is you've got your images that's what I mean. You've got your images telling the story,
right?
But I have a choice of whether I read your text or not. So why the hell not? This isn't Instagram.
Right. Okay. So having more text, because another instinct that I have is because I pretty much drew out a story in my mind that I wanted to convey, right? And unfortunately, I don't know. I see a lot of examples of landing pages, but they don't have a lot of text, right? It's just very simple and So I'm wondering if that, like, you know, like having a lot of text is good, or is it just to keep it simple and images?
I'm going to say that if I want to know an answer and you don't tell me my answer, I'm going somewhere else. So look at this right here. There's low text on there. Above the fold, you don't need that heavy.
Yeah.
So if I'm ready to go and I say, screw you, I don't want to read anything, go ahead and click here. But if I have questions, I'm going to scroll down. And again, if you don't answer me, I'm not, unless I really, really need your product, I'm leaving. So why the hell not tell them? Because the only people scrolling down are somebody who still has a question. If I'm going down to this level, I have a massive amount of trust or I need to gain from you. So tell me. If you don't tell me, then I'm going to leave. Unless you're an essential service, like vaccines from the States, Luke's getting us, I'm not really going anywhere with this, right? So why not?
So now my other question is, okay, because a lot of stuff that I have is on my website. Okay, because we're talking about website. I have it all categorized, how this works, you know, the story, blah, blah, blah. How much of that should I be putting onto my landing page?
So
like,
again,
right? I'm wondering, like, should I have more original content, you know, like on the landing page?
So what you have is you have this guide here. You can crib out, and I think this Neil Patel, he's a beast in the whole industry, right? So we're going to trust him a bit on that one, but not the only reason. I think I like his logic. You could fill out the elements he's saying. And again, there's nothing stopping you if you have pages with specific questions.
Right.
You could always, and maybe what I would even do is I would even do them as a forward where you hold your existing tab. And then so they don't get lost maybe on, I guess people are kind of familiar with these days. But so you could break out the pages in your discussion or in your as you're proving your product, you could say on the landing page, hey, you want to know more about this? Go look at this. So drive in the elements that fit. There is a need to be very much focused on the benefits of your product and trust. Those are your two things coming out of here. And the ease or the guarantee. So I guess the trust and the information, you know, what it does for them, the benefits, what these you're hanging into. If there's a greater detail, you think, you know, this doesn't really fit. And even when they're scrolling down, they're going to get lost here and say, what am I doing? There's nothing stopping you from doing, like, if you want to learn about this, click this link. So you could do it that way where you drive them into other resources, but they're leaving a landing page. But this day and age, most people can make their way back pretty quick. So wouldn't worry too much on that.
I mean, should I just include it on that landing page?
Yeah, and again, and if you think it's a low yield, you know, just put it like if you look at this guru one, you could do this massive. So let's say you got this massive call to action here. Look what they're even doing. You could drop it down to an FAQ on the very bottom of any last issues that they're only going to click to see if they got a question.
Okay, I like this.
Yeah, so long, and especially for SEO, Google does reward more text heavy content over light content. You know, the more keyword stuffing and the more you discuss that category, the greater chance your article is becoming a pillar content, which means it's a substantive piece that Google recognizes. Your chance of becoming even a feature, I guess it'd be formatted, it'd be hard to do for landing page, but you know what I mean? You've got a chance to come out on top with SEO, which is a nice benefit, especially for you where it's a B2C, if you're business to consumer or sort of a low item B2B, business to business, you could, you know, get some traffic direct from the SEO from the internet.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Okay, I'm going to give that one for me an 8.5 out of 10, but I think I did cover it off. That's what I like to see in evaluation when you talk about that one. Garrett did about an 8.5 for Diana. I'm not entirely comfortable with that, but that's where I sit. Okay, who is next? And then, sorry, you know what? I just said my opinion of landing pages. Anybody else? You can say Garrett's an idiot. It's this way or that way. Look at, I was born on Instagram. I can go through 20 images or 20 posts in 2 seconds, and I don't understand what the hell you're saying. Anybody want to give a different opinion or a confirming opinion? How are we feeling out there? Nobody wants to take on the alpha digital marketer. Take me out and take the lead. So Garrett, I'm going to take over this classroom. Get
Hi there.
out.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you
Hi,
hear?
Helen. Yeah, we can hear you.
I think there's lots of comments in the chat, and there's a
Oh.
series of questions there.
Oh, okay, let's go there. If I could find my chat again. Now, Tiana, I can't see. Oh,
I can just read it.
I can see. Cool. There's chat up here somewhere. Yay. Okay. Where'd it go? It's over here. Okay, so what we have in the chat is, I don't see anything.
Here, I can just say it. So one question is, should I join Clubhouse? Still working on getting comfortable with Instagram and Twitter.
Oh crap, you know what? I have to sign up for Clubhouse and I haven't read anything, but I am seeing it's getting serious traction. So unfortunately, this is somebody can tell me, but I have no clue about Clubhouse. I have to go inside the damn thing. And it is so new from a marketing world. And I bet there's stuff out there, but I haven't seen any information on it hitting. I go to LinkedIn and I got a pretty beast feed for DM, and I do sort of, look at the journals and I Google around a lot, but I have very little in Clubhouse. So somebody else can certainly go there for me. So Clubhouse, I'm giving a total bomb. But what's that question again? Let me see. Oh, here it is. Okay. Okay, so Clubhouse, again, I don't know. And the thing is, I'll say for any new media, we don't know if they're going to take yet or not. And yeah, we don't know, right? We need, I think, because Clubhouse, what has only been about a month, really, right? Where it's got this, I think Buddy Musk popped it up, right? When Musk pushed it. And I think we had Bill Gates or something on it. So it got a little bit of that way. So I don't know on Clubhouse, so I can't say. But I will tell you this rapidly, okay? I can tell you on Clubhouse that any media, like even Twitter's kind of in some ways, it's a crappy system, but what it's working off of is, if you look at YouTube versus Vimeo or something, it's just the content in there, and that's just the users creating the content. So regardless of how we look at, until you get enough users on there, your message is not going to hit a lot. But the good news too, I guess, not a lot of users. I don't know if Clubhouse has even got advertising yet kicking in. Does anybody see ads on that yet? They may still be building a user base. And I guess why I mention that is maybe sometimes it's cheaper and easier on a smaller little platform where you get a lot less people or competition. And I have to be invited. So somebody invite me to Clubhouse. Yeah.
Thank you.
There we go. I want to get invited to the Clubhouse, so I can do this. This is my.
I will comment on Clubhouse from my side.
Yeah, good. Yeah, please. Yeah, definitely. Love to hear.
I find that it's difficult if you want to do something location specific.
Yeah.
I can't tell where people are coming from, or it doesn't seem targeted in any way. People are coming from all over the place. Other than that, it's interesting conversation. There's a lot of focus on entrepreneurship and startups.
Oh, 6 months. So I guess screw Clubhouse. I'm not going to see it for a while. I guess I'm going to have to research it long before then. So again, I think I've kind of, okay, so thanks, Sarah. I think I've kind of answered the Clubhouse that it's like Bing. If you look at search engines, you got Google is the beast, but I know you can do Bing, Bing ads and stuff where you have a much smaller reach, but users more effective. But again, look at Bing's been around since the beginning of time. So Clubhouse is a new entity, and I bet you the user base, like Facebook has 1.5 billion users, I believe, and Twitter's 300 million users. So that user base is what's happening. That's where you get the location and all those more specific breakdowns of things where you get target audiences and stuff. So that's Clubhouse. I think I've labored it enough. Unless somebody else wants to jump in, I'm going to let that one go.
Clubhouse is growing really quickly. There are sort of, one's called House of Ontario. And as long as the person who's on Clubhouse actually puts in their bio, puts in their info, what I have found is it's just great to get connections at a broader, like globally, because you can start a room, you name the topic, and people, let's say you book it for 2 weeks from now, and anyone who's interested in that topic will come in. And generally speaking, because it's so new, they are top people in that field that are being invited to.
Cool. And I guess it's more of a genuine, and I will say this, like, remember TikTok when TikTok sort of struggled, I would say, for the first year or so. I remember when it first came out, it was this brand new TikTok. We didn't know where it was going, but obviously somebody got in early on that and followed the wave, they'd be in great shape. So maybe there's something there, and if Clubhouse grows, your first mover in there, maybe you have a great chance to become a great influencer in some form. But okay, so we're gonna let Clubhouse go.
So a big question before we let Clubhouse go.
Yeah, sure, Sean.
Thank you. I'm on the Google Apps right now, and there's such a varied example of Clubhouse, the Clubhouse, Clubhouse social network. Which one are you looking for as the app goes?
Oh, I remember this. I think somebody tell me, but I know that somebody was tricking, like even the Clubhouse share, there's another person, this Clubhouse marketing or something, they were stealing their valuations going through the roof, and somebody's just tricking them. So I'm not sure. So I don't know which one it is. And can it download from the App Store these days, everybody? Is it live on there?
It is a download. Sorry.
It is downloadable, Zara?
I got it off the App Store. I know it's not available on Android yet.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. It's an iOS still. It's not even an Android. So those are smart marketers trying to manipulate you to get you to download their bloody thing.
Okay.
We're gonna reward them for messing with you and getting you to download their app. It's gonna be Garrett's Clubhouse. You're gonna see that tomorrow when I build my app. It'll just be a picture of me smiling at everybody. Hello, welcome to my Clubhouse. So, okay, so we got that answered. So let's see the question here. Different marketing channels will sell tickets, how to measure one more effectively, how to know how the customer journey, whoa, who the hell? Somebody get live and tell me. You have a massive question. You're breaking my brain. I cannot follow this. Somebody come in with that question and ask it directly. You have some skin in the game at least too. Come on out. Who's got the question? You see my screen? You can see my screen.
Mm-hmm.
Who is this person? Helen, is that you? Come on out. I'm calling you out.
It's not my question, sorry.
Oh, well, Helen's going to be our resident advisor on this. Well, actually, we're kind of leaving Clubhouse, Helen, so you can jump in other parts. Who the hell is this? Come on. They just going to watch the video, and you can watch a cat video. I'll get back to this later. Work with me. Okay. What I'm working. Okay, I know what? I rebel. I want to know who has an interest here. Because you've asked a lot of questions. Tanya, am I
On to the next question.
Yeah, on to the next. So yeah, that's live. Live wins over. We'll go this to the end if we need stuff, unless somebody comes live. Go ahead. Who's next? Question. Bring it up. This is your chance. Holy shit, we may have to read it. This is it. Helen, you got something? I know you do.
You know what? I was the Clubhouse question, actually.
Oh, yeah, there. Now we got her out of the weeds.
But I've seen explosive growth. And,
okay.
Again, I just went by topics. And literally, so I wanted to know, should I actually spend more time there? I see it as just increasing thought leadership, not really sales generating at this stage.
Let's see Clubhouse app. Holy shit. See, Clubhouse is up to 10 million users now. And you're right. It went from 600,000 in December to 10 million in February. So that is good traction. There's not many apps that are going that much. So Helen, I think you're right. Holy shit.
I participated in quite a few, mostly just as a listener. But what I see is if you can create, because it's still in the early stages, if you can create a room on a topic with whatever it is that your business does or your specialty, it makes sense to start that. And you also want to invite then some key speakers, and they flock. It just people pop out of anywhere. And most of the time when I'm in Clubhouse, I actually am just clicking on each of the profiles to see where in the world they are, who they do, and that's what I'm doing.
Well, Helen, I added you on Clubhouse, so maybe we can host a room together and see what happens.
Well, we can't get in, so we have to go to Helen's room. Only the haves can go in that one. So Helen, you're going to have to show him.
Is it accessible even from a laptop? Or it has to be an iOS phone?
It's really
they have a website?
I would compare it to like a call-in radio. It's all audio. There isn't really a desktop. It is only iOS. And again, I'm dating myself, but it sounds like it's not a podcast. It's, you know, the speakers, and similar to this format, you can ask any question, and then people from the audience can come on stage, because that's how it's formed, is you can ask to go on stage, the person who's moderating the room can say yes, and then you can give your spiel or give your opinion.
I mean, Helen's looking jealous. We should have done this right. We could have done this in Clubhouse. This would be a good format for this one, Helen, with the way you're describing it. But, okay, so that's Clubhouse. Let's move on. And so who's got some questions? Unless I go to the person who's not here's questions. Give me some questions. What are you trying to do for your businesses? We need help with.
Awareness, marketing, trying to basically find the right customer rather than just broadly.
So Sean, describe the issue you're trying to bring awareness to. What are you trying to drive awareness to?
So basically, I'm kind of disrupting the trash can cleaning industry, and what it does is help fight climate change by helping make diversion of food waste completely easy. So if you've ever known anybody who has a dirty trash can and it stinks up every time they throw their waste, using my system, it's completely mess-free. Every time the garbage truck literally puts it down on your driveway, you're left with a fresh, clean can.
So you do you basically something that goes in the can keeps it?
Yeah, I basically developed a specialized holder that allows you to fix any size bag you want, which serves your family's needs. It doesn't have to be a large, oversized bag. So for example, if you've got a 96-gallon trash can, you're not going to buy a 96-gallon bag for that. You could use a 13-gallon bag. It allows you to place it wherever you want to dump in all your messy stuff. You can isolate the bags, whether it's plastic. You use the bag you want, basically. I only sell you the holder.
Okay, so now what do you mean? How are you going into diverting for waste and things? Or are you just throwing that on as promotional aspects, or does it somehow have something other than the size of the bag as an option?
Oh, no. So basically what's happened is food waste, because people don't want to deal with the mess and hassle, they literally dump it in the garbage or in the recycling bin rather than in the green bin. They don't usually find regular bags which can fit their containers. So with mine, you can use anything from a 10-gallon bag onwards, and once it's dumped in, you're separating it from the other streams. So this way it actually helps diversion of food waste as well. Okay,
cool. Then let me take this thought on, if I could find it here. Where the hell? I lost my thing. Where are we? These are all news. Let's get rid of that. I got to find the right screen. That's Clubhouse over here. Where the hell is my Google Drive? Here we go. So Sean, way this is working. So everybody, I'm going to give you a recap on strategically laying out your content to be found for awareness. Okay, and I'm going to show you a piece that I use that I built over the years. Actually, I built a lot of it with my mentoring with Edge clients, and some of the people here know this document, and they're probably traumatized at this point because sometimes it takes like 3-4 months to make their way through, and they hate me. But really, let me show you this document. And I don't know if this is my more current version, October, that's an older version. I'm going to go over here and get a more current one. Well, this will work as well as any for at least a discussion. Let me go over here. Hopefully it's not too old. I always update it like every month or so. So what's going on here in terms of building up awareness for your product or service? And this is going to be a little bit specific to me. This is my own recipe, so it's very subjectively created, but it is based upon my mentoring of small businesses. And I'm at this stage getting to be an Edge veteran. I just realized I'm at 3 years, 2 months of mentoring businesses. So I'm getting a little bit of cred in that space is what I'm going to say, because I've used this document now probably in 100 businesses. It's also used in my classes, and it's usually the first assignment we do when they sort of set off my digital marketing courses. That's why you can see all the student names and stuff, because this is where it's coming from. But let me get to Sean's question or issue. So Sean, anytime marketing is being undertaken, and this is where this document runs into trouble, it is really, really hard to market something without a wow or some sort of hook or something exciting. And if so, the problem is that there's 1.5 billion web pages, and they're all competing for that front page, because by the time you get to that third page, you're down to about 2% of the people. And that fourth page, you're getting basically very little. If you know for yourself, so you get to that fourth page, things can get really weird on the search. So people just don't go out there unless you're desperate. Sometimes I've gone in 8 or 9 pages because I really want to get an answer, but you're really in pain because you have a lot of weird shit coming up after that. So you got to get, the first page is about 94%, I'm going to say, or 93. Second page is about 5% of people will click off of it. Third page about 2%, and then everybody else is the desperate ones going past that. So again, so though of all that 1.5 billion, you better come. So I guess so Sean, I'm starting this, let me just backtrack. I'm going with awareness on SEO at this stage. And I will talk about social. Let's talk about SEO. So landing page aspects of prospecting and SEO, and that will feed its way into prospecting or awareness on social as well. The two of them related. Now, Sean, does that cover the areas that you're thinking, or is there another element you want me to consider in this discussion?
No, I mean, you're right. I mean, it's all about SEO, and it's all about then your social media. Those are the only kind of two different things, right?
Okay, so what I do is, if you think about what you're doing, is all business can be drilled down. So I always try to, whenever I'm doing anything in terms of lecturing, or even when I'm approaching a business, I always try to go down to the core. So the core is your value proposition. Now, does anybody here not aware of what the term value proposition? Because there's a lot of bullshit terms, but I really like this one. It's actually a good one. Sometimes it's BS, but does anybody not know a value prop? What it means, value proposition? I know you don't. Somebody doesn't. Come on, you could be a star. Asking a question makes you look engaged and makes you look smarter because you're more authentic in your thinking levels. That was my attempt to break out somebody on the value prop. Oh, we got a chat coming in. Somebody's going to admit on chat. We have here, I have to go. Oh, so Helen's gone. I think the clubhouse, she's upset with me. She's left. Thank you, Helen. I appreciated you jumping in. Thank you. So it's coming into a point of value. Okay, so value proposition, I'm going to just say it anyway. Basically, what it is what businesses do in capitalist society is they match up customer problems and they give them product solutions. And if you think government does that, the businesses fill the gap where there are profitability involved, and it's not as necessarily. I know, Helen. No, thanks. I was just joking with you. Thank you very much. There we go. Don't worry, I'm a beast. I'm going to get written up one day for bullying, but I just will last as long as I can. So you've got the customer problem, product solution. And that is what you're doing when you're formulating your business, right? You're trying to find a unique spot in the market where you're selling a product or service that nobody else is selling, or else you're going into a gap or a space where there's so much people wanting it that maybe you could jump on as a second or third or a fourth or a 10th mover and take that part of the market. But we don't really address that because that's kind of an easy way to go. And it's a little bit harder to do that, to get that traction, but certainly go that direction. So I'm going to talk from the point of view of trying to go in the market with something new or unique. And so what you're doing, so Sean, it's funny. So I am going, don't worry, I'm not going to leave you in this strategy BS here, this theory BS. I'm going to lock this into practical. But this foundational thinking is what you need to do. So you need to take your product and understand the value prop as a whole. So Sean, can you even tell us your value prop, or is this something where I'm touching totally off guard? What's your customer solution, our product solution? What's your customer problem?
So my little thing would be, have you ever wanted to help the environment? Yeah. Found it too messy, or it's just tiresome? Well, with my product baggies, you can basically manage waste, help the environment, and do anything with your trash bag or grocery bag compared to anything else.
Okay.
I mean, I've got a bigger one. I'm just shooting off my head. I'm mixing a couple of
Okay.
things.
Yeah, I put you on the spot, so sorry about that. And
No, but just to give you, just to break it down pretty simple,
okay.
is my product allows you to use a bag way better and efficiently than compared to you presently using it, whether it's a grocery bag or a large trash bag, whether you're going in your trash
Okay.
can, camping, your car, or a picnic. Anywhere you're
Okay.
using a bag, it becomes more efficient.
So Sean, I'm going to jump in and maybe tell me if my summary is correct. So your overall value prop is that basically customer problem, I've got various bags and they don't necessarily match my garbage bin. Your solution is allows you to use any size bag in your garbage bin efficiently.
Kind of, but it's a little more advanced. As in, I don't even sell you a bag. I sell you a holder that allows you to modify your bag
Yeah.
into.
So you can modify to make the bag fit into the bin. I'm breaking it down to simple form because what I'm trying to do is get that core, and the other things you're talking about, I'm going to address them. So there's an overall very basic, simple value prop, and your business should have sort of a clear, elevator pitch that should be that one liner and say, this is what we do. So I'm going to sit there. And you're right. It sounds boring as hell. And you're thinking, Jesus, I don't want to go fighting Canadian Tire and Home Depot on this one, because I want to add more of the other stuff. And so what you do is you have your value prop and you understand that core. And you research that core, so you make sure that you really are legitimate. What you're doing in that overall value prop is you're trying to determine whether on a high level that this problem really does exist enough where people are going to put money out for your solution. So that's your overall business value prop. But for marketing, that in itself, so what happens if you think of what marketing is, or promotion, all you're really doing is think about, and that's why I'm going down to this level, this value prop, and people are saying like, why the hell are you talking about this crap? We just want to talk about how to promote it. The issue is you need to understand those customer problems and you need to know your product solution. And then you need to promote the message that says, hey, customer, you've got this problem. We have this solution. So you need to know those two sides to know how you're going to communicate the benefits to them. So the way your whole process begins is you need to have an understanding of your product and what's unique about it. And you need to understand your target market. And ideally for digital, if you can break down that huge target market and build out target audiences that are based upon different benefits, you can then do tighter messaging and you can build multiple campaigns. So this strategy I'm talking about is essential to this process so what I'm going to say, and this is a new term I formed, you've got a value prop, and below that value proposition, I'm going to call them micro value propositions. And I will use, and everybody, I'm sorry, because this example has been used probably for about a year and a half. And I know Zara now is going to totally tune me out on this one. And probably Diana, and probably Tiana right now is thinking, geez, I'll have to hear this again as a moderator. I'm not going to invite him back to any of these things. But the issue, I'm going to give you my John Deere tractor example because it works, okay? So I'm driving in. So Sean, you got to capture this. I'm going to give you an example that should give you the essence here. But we'll go into more tactics after this. We'll give you the thinking. So, and this is kind of made up at this stage. I've said this thing so many times, I'm called brainwashed. I don't know what's real or not anymore. So I can't even tell you if I'm telling the truth anymore, to be honest. I probably said this example about 300 times. So I have no recollection of anything other than my story. Okay, and I'm a marketing. We all lie anyway, we know that. So it's just nature. But only white lies, don't worry, not bad lies, just good lies. Good lies to sell stuff. Chad, let me make sure you have to edit that out of this. This thing goes live. Just can anybody do a mark or a timestamp on that one? We'll just cut this piece out. So John Deere tractor. So you've got a riding mower that works to cut grass, but it's for bigger lawns, right? Bigger spaces you're going to cut. You don't need a huge riding mower unless you have a big lawn or you're a landscaper or something. So I'm in my car and a first on the radio, an ad comes up and it says, hey, we've got a John Deere tractor. So the value, let me back up. The value proposition is we've got an efficient way to cut large pieces of grass. So that's the overall value prop. And you could try to sell that, but I bet there's a lot of different lawnmowers out there, riding mowers, that you're just basically in pure competition. And maybe that segment's tight enough that you could do a battle online, but you still may have to fight a bit harder. I don't know how many models are out there in the world, but you're going to be battling a bit to get those first 3 pages, and it's not going to be easy, I'm going to imagine. So you have to find a fighting point for awareness that's a little bit more cut down, where you can get a smaller piece of smaller, like you get a niche that's more searchable that you can kind of own. So you're trying to, so back to the riding mower. The one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to break my target market into 2 segments. One segment is going to be recreational users, people with their big yards, rich people who have a big yard and they want to drive this tractor, or else rural people, maybe it could be even a third target audience. But let's say the home user, the consumer, the end consumer, the B2C. Another target audience I'm going to pull out is going to be maybe I'm going to try to sell it to landscapers. So 2 different target market segments are pulled out, because why I'm pulling them out is the benefits of each are now more tightly specified. So I can now talk tighter to them and even maybe drive some of the SEO and the social media posts more geared towards specific target market, our target audience. This target market segment is the target audience. And so back to the recreational user, I'll make this up. Maybe they come on the radio and says, hey, we got this great riding mower. You can have a great stereo. There's a beer cup holder. It's got easy start. It has ability to lift up to go in your shed or whatever. So you could do all those benefits to them and you could talk about that. And then 30 minutes later, another radio ad comes on and says, hey, landscaper, we have a riding mower for your business. And you could say we do financing. It has a 10-year warranty. It's guaranteed to cut along well, or you can get your money back in 60 days. So maybe, and again, each target audience may have aspects of both, but there should be a primarily benefit bundle to each. And then why I bring this up is you do this exercise that I'm showing you, where you go through your target market and you break out target audience segments, you tighten it up. And then when you've broken out all the target audience segments that you can think of, you could then line up, 10 campaigns or 3 or 4 campaigns. And your first campaign is going to go for that best target audience. So back to the John Deere tractor, you could do a campaign for recreational users as your first campaign, and maybe GTA recreational users, because you can use for SEO and stuff. And so you work through who your target audience is and what they're about and what they want. You build a persona. You look to the online space and you try to see where your persona is. So maybe you're going to go to a Reddit for lawn riding mower owners, and maybe I want to buy something. So you find spots where they are online. Maybe there's a Facebook page for big property owners or something. So you look at your persona target audience and try to estimate where they are. And your other target audience of landscapers, maybe there's a landscaping site, maybe there's a forum, and maybe there's a Facebook page or other property Instagram page for beautiful lawns or something. So you're looking for these spots and where your target audience could be. So that's the one part of it. Then the other part of it, don't worry, Sean, I'm joining all this together. I'm going a long route, but I'm going to sort of show you.
I'm completely following you on this.
Okay, cool. Then the other side is you then take your product, and I like the 4 Ps. There's 7 Ps and 7 Cs and whatever, but I just stick with the 4 Ps in my view. And you're going to go through your product and say, what's unique about what I do versus something else? So a big part of your positioning of your product in the market is coming from competition. So who's out there? Is anybody doing anything close to me? They're doing close to me. How do I position myself to beat them? If somebody's out there and they have good SEO traction or good sales, what are they doing right? And as a marketer, say, what can I do to steal their ideas? And if somebody's out there and the product looks like hell and they're not doing well, you say, shit, I better not do what they're doing. So competitive research is fundamental in this stage, especially digital research online, just Googling away. And you're trying to find out what's unique. And when you do this, so the target audience is a little bit more straightforward. It's going to work itself out pretty well. Then the other part, what you're doing, this is more hard because you're trying to keep pushing into this document until you get some hooks about something that you think, wow, this is a really nice hook. So for me, maybe I'm going through it all and I did this for my target audience of recreational user. I could say, I'm going to put on the benefits that are really neat. I think of my landing page and the benefits for them. I'm going to say that my page is going to talk about the beer cup holder, and my landing page is going to talk about the benefits of the stereo system. And you're going to do all of this information, and you're going to take that information and you're going to try to SEO that page, or at least put it up there, and you can start to read your Google Analytics and see what keyword phrases is being triggered that Google's firing you up, or you're going to try to infer how that person is going to search that benefit to get to you. For example, for you, I'm going to say my search is going to be to describe a garbage can that allows me to use different bag sizes. Maybe that's what I do for my SEO, and I can maybe adjust it later on. And then once you build this page where you have now dissected all the benefits you think that are appealing to that target audience, you now have this page, which is a beautiful piece where you have now done consumer behavior, you've strategically thought through your customer, and you now take that and you can repurpose that throughout your social. So back to that page, and you can also put a link to your page inside the social, so you could even drive them to as a call to action to go to your page for more information. So one post is going to be, hey, do you ever thought of live? Do you think our riding mower has a beer cup holder? I can't wait for July 2nd. So that's one post for that target audience. Your second post is saying, hey, there's this great new band out these days, and my riding mower, I can really hear them well. And you're doing that social post. And so what I'm saying is the tactics are really straightforward. It's the content that matters, and that's what you need to think about. And that's why I went through this long segue of stuff to get to your answer. So for your awareness, you need to, first of all, drive out what the benefits they're seeking, and you need to message those benefits and see what they respond to in a strategic fashion. Because the neat thing, if you lay out the strategy, you start to act, rather than willy-nilly just posting stuff up there, you're now strategically have thought it through, and then essentially your SEO and your landing pages and your social should at this stage become a lab for you, where you're registering what the people are responding to in the platform. And there's a whole bunch of things that could go wrong, but at least you've got some sort of strategic drive of what you're doing, so you can evaluate your effectiveness. And that's why you need to work out that strategy first and not go willy-nilly. Because if you're just throwing stuff out without thinking about it, you're going at a random chance, and you don't necessarily know the logic of what you did. So you don't know what to change if it's extremely successful. I guess you could kind of go all in on what you did and follow that. But if you don't get traction, you don't have any sense of how to measure the effectiveness or evaluate what you're doing unless you have a base of understanding of why you're doing it.
I get you. So let me see if I understood kind of what you're saying. So presently, I kind of throw it out there, like in this words, kind of, you can buy multiple bag holders to sort your needs.
Yeah.
Or you can buy just one. And what I do normally is I throw in like about 10 pictures of the various uses.
Yeah.
But from what I hear, you're telling me, it's better to go with one use and show 10 images of that one that you're solving that customer's specific problem, and then make a next one for the next use. So for example, leaf bags or lawn care, make one whole post only on that. Car trash.
Sean, let me show you. Let me jump in. I'm going to give you something maybe to aid our discussion. So this is an example of kind of working out on a very basic level. So all those things I told you are now coming into this document. You understand the customer problem and the product solution. So you can see here, and this is actually only about 60%, but I just use it because I have it, because I stole it from the Edges site, never told them. So this is a landing page that sucks, but let's just call this a landing page. If they did this better, they would have more benefits. And I think they could have done different versions, but the Edge has authority site and traction, so maybe they didn't need to give a crap. With that said, our campaign kind of sucked. So I think maybe this was part of the problem in driving in co-op on the Edge students. So look at this as a landing page, but realize it's a failing landing page. So here's a landing page. And inside here should be an understanding of what students want from co-op training for entrepreneurship. There should have been more drawn out and it should have been more flushed. I think it was too thin. But that's a general idea of a landing page. And see what they've done is they've gone through and they've dissected their landing page. They pulled off elements throughout the whole thing. So they built up in advance a bunch of different posts. And if you were to do this, you would be thinking of all your benefits and your target audience and trying to gather different positioning. You're trying to test. Because initially those first social posts and that first landing page, if you're wrong and it's going duds, as long as you're measuring and doing it methodically, that's still a win, because a failure means that you've learned that don't go near that spot again, or else something's wrong in the way I did it. Either I've messed up and don't understand the benefits. So you could go back and reverse engineer. And so, Sean, you see this, so you lay all these out strategically. And with that said, I'm going to say 50% of what you're doing is just random pop-up shit. You get in the morning and say, I'm going to talk about this. And that's all fine, as long as it's sort of general information engagement. You keep going that string. But I'm saying another series of posting, you're doing more, you're mapping them out two a week or whatever. So you're mapping out more strategically and you're trying to read it. And so you lay out all the benefits and even images, you're testing. So really this is I'm going to call these your 24 testing posts to see if you can get traction. And if you do find a vein as you're testing where it works, you say, shit, I'm just going to push into that. I've got a wedge on something that's driving awareness. And then you can go back to your landing page and readjust it, or maybe create a brand new landing page when you see some social traction, or you see some keywords coming in. You say, shit, I'm going to build it up on this aspect because this is what people are, how they're defining it. I was wrong, but this is how they're coming to my page. And that's how you build your awareness. I've given you a really top level. There's more detail, but you have to go to one of my other sessions, Sean, and we'll go through this an hour and a half. We go through the whole process of the funnel and prospecting. I'm going to try to go. I'm going super high level on you.
Oh, please, whenever.
All right. So yeah, look for my other lessons, Digital Marketing 101 or Funnel Marketing 101. You'll go into detail.
I'll check it out.
Okay. Does that kind of answer your question then? Have I given you enough? Any more things you're saying? There's a glaring hole in my assistance.
No, I hear what you're saying. It's basically keep modifying based on what your reports come back, et cetera, so that you're understanding exactly what's working and what to actually emphasize on and remove what's not working in some cases.
And I'm going to show you something. I'll give you another example. Maybe this will help. I can see you're a little bit ripped off behind me. So this is I've got this thing called Learn to Earn. It's a student club. And we need to recruit new students. So I practice what I preach. We went through and we just basically outlined what we're doing. We've got our core. We know our products, what our company does. We have to sort of lay down from the foundation, and we built on that. And then we got to the point where we said, these are we figured out the marketing goal that we needed to work on over the next 4 months. So we had a goal set. And now that says, okay, so I'm going to build a campaign to support me on that. So that's what it came, digital marketing people for the club or students. I'm going through, so we're doing an industry analysis. And really the best yield here is you're trying to find direct or indirect competition. You're trying to read them. That's where the wealth of what you're going to get is coming from. So these are for Learn to Earn. It's a club that teaches student digital marketing skills. So these are what we thought to be the direct or indirect competition as far as we saw it. So I'm doing all that analysis. And then we're going through our USP. Remember that product analysis? It's a little bit different format. We're doing product first in this document. So these are the things that we believed were high yield, that students cared about in the club. And the neat thing is students are in the club, so they're part of the assignment, so they could even subjectively look at themselves and what they're looking for. So it helped the document. So we've got all these high yield things we thought are neat. They're hooks. Remember the wow. And just a little bit, things we thought that were unique about the club versus the other things. And then we came down and we worked out those amazing things that we could promote about the club to students. These are things we came out with that we felt were unique or interesting that students would gravitate towards. So we then went down, and the overall target market for this club is all students, but it's hard again to do a campaign or do messaging to all of them because some of them have different needs. So we took all of our students and we broke them down. We always do funny terms. It's part of the fun persona thing. So we broke down academic Janie Keener, and she's joined the club primarily because she wants to do better in school and wants to learn. She wants a good job, but she's there to learn primarily and to basically augment her academic learning. So that's one audience we saw. We saw another audience. They're joining the club because they want leads to get more information about the industry. They want to join the club, so maybe a portfolio item that they could use to get a job when they get out. So that was kind of them, career keeners. They weren't there for academic, they're there to learn skills. And then we have Network Mike. So this person joins primarily to, Mike's a total nerd and he thinks and dreams digital 3-4 hours a day, and nobody wants to talk to him anymore because he talks about digital marketing. And he's joining it because he loves digital marketing and he wants to network with people and get a like-minded people around him. That was our other target audience we figured out. And then pay the bills, Joe. Somebody joined the club because there's a little bit of money that comes in from paid clients. That's fourth target audience. And each of these, you could see the benefits they're seeking are a little bit unique, but they do overlap, but each one has their own profile of needs. And then we go down and we said, okay, our biggest target audience that we can see is academic Jenny Keener. So we're going to build a profile on her and try to understand her. I don't know why they said she likes CP24, which is the news in Toronto, but maybe. So you've got academic. So you're trying to sort of say, and where is she online? So you're trying to figure out your target audience or your persona, which is the same thing. Persona is just a manifestation it's basically somebody who symbolizes the target.
Or your perfect customer.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Sean wins on that one. Good. Yeah, it's just your perfect customer for that target audience. Then we did a SWOT where we dug a bit more in to see if we could get any more information we can pull. And we got a bit more insights of stuff we could pull into our campaign from our overall analysis. So we're going down. And then we have a good sense of remember what I said, I know my customer, I know their problems, I got my product, I know it's unique or interesting about it. And we're now setting out our campaign, which is based on bringing new students. We're putting some KPIs and metrics on it so we can evaluate ourselves. And then we're now ready to launch our awareness program to drive in people. And we're going to sort of top line our strategy. So the value prop is really here. We've got a theme a little bit for everybody, sort of a target market theme. We're going in some general ideas of tactics we can do. So you've got strategy, which is the ideas, and then tactics is the executional pieces. And it's still high level, but now we've dug down deeper. We need to do some min to get the campaign going. And now we're at Jenny. And we're going to now look at her benefits, and we're going to build content pages around each of Jenny's benefits she's seeking. And we're going to SEO those. So when Jenny searches us, like Sheridan Club for learning digital marketing, we're going to build SEO in all those content pages. And then Google is going to see all those content pages, and they're going to assume they're going to look at the nature of all of them and say, shit, this is a place where students learn digital marketing. So there's a life to the whole website. And each individual page is going to be used for promotions of things. Hey, academic Jenny, you want to build a portfolio, based on your courses, come to this page. So you can see a whole bunch of, so we're starting with the landing pages, which we're still building right now. And we're moving our way to social after that, where we'll do that one co-op on the edge sort of workup on each landing page. And you can see we've got ourselves basically, if you look at this here, we have ourselves probably about 50 social posts built into this content, ready to roll and maybe even 75 once we get our landing pages. You've got all of this fuel to start your awareness and your promotion. Up there, I think I got you on that one, didn't I, Sean? I think I got you. Yes?
I'm on the same page with you.
Okay, good. I'm giving myself now a 7.5 to Sean. I'm not going to give myself an entirely good grade because I didn't tell you too much detail, but I can't in this space.
No, I'm similar with you on this. The reason for that is because I've been doing this for now about a year.
Yeah.
And I kind of went in that direction from, I think, the first month onward. So even just to give an idea, on Amazon itself, I split my products into three. One which shows the outside function, one which shows trash, and the other one which gives you about like yard work cleaning, because we saw that that was the highest viewership they had over there regarding that trash bags. So it helped us boost. Like right now, even I just checked it right now. Like I'm on the top 50 Amazon seller, so that's pretty good. So I was just trying to like, but that's all based on Amazon. I'm trying to take Amazon out of the equation right now.
Yeah, they're a beast. I hate them. They're like dancing with the devil. I know what you mean. So I would try to get on that search, and that would be what I would build a landing page on that one and see if I could drive in some SEO. If that's a good term, but if somebody told me about your product, I'd be looking at this, and they're right. Nobody here's really doing it.
Even if you put trash bag with different bags, I should be on the first or second page maximum.
Let's see if we find Sean. Sean, yeah, you got some. Now, one thing I'm going to mention on awareness, you're not going to beat some of these. You can do it though, but these are high authority sites, so they're grabbing that top page. So I'm not going to blame Sean.
For example, if you write trash can cleaning, I know I'll pull up.
That's a short tail. Good. Or a nice medium tail.
So that's me right on top, but I want to show you the organic one. So if you scroll down a little bit.
Oh yeah, you got the Google ads. Is that you?
No, I don't do any ads.
Okay. So let's go down. Where are you, Sean?
That's me.
There we go. Good. So that may be one term, but I would do other ones. But here we go. Cool. So you can measure that effectiveness and see whether you could even build that into a full campaign. You could take this page, if you've got it sort of, it's an article, so got it as a blog article. You could take that page and then break out these benefits, put them on social, and you could even test the elements in social of your, you know what I mean? And this is long copy, better than short. Sean's with me on that one. And you could clean up your above the fold on this a bit from what we've said today. You could get more ready for an action. Maybe somebody knows about you, ready to activate. So you could, you know what I mean? You could clean up your above the fold a bit more. What I talked about with Diana.
Absolutely. If I can straight away just telling you by looking at the job I do, it's this. I just write, but when you tell me to put that into something good, you see what it looks like. Someone like a child did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but and again, I would say that you've got Google Analytics hooked up to your site. You're reading it, so I could start somewhere. So I'm not denying what you're doing in any way. You just got to start somewhere and get it going. But maybe you can go a bit more and certainly make sure you have Google Analytics hooked up so you can measure, and Google Search Console. So and it's free.
I am hooked up.
Yeah. Okay. Good. And make sure you do Google Search Console too. Don't forget that beast.
That I don't know about that.
Yeah, when you go inside your Google Analytics, this is kind of everybody, because you should know this one piece. Let me show you. Where are we? I just want to show you this because it's important to do this, is that you get search terms off of that and a little bit of information on landing pages too. Here we are. Come on. Let me get to where I want to go. No. So here's an example of somebody, E4X, I know we just did it. So you go down and you click Search Console, it will direct you of how to set it up. So this is set up so the data is coming, but if you click that and you don't have it hooked up, it won't work. All I'd recommend when you're setting up, I'll give everybody a quick tip. And the other way is just the one thing that I kind of get stuck setting them up when I first started was when you're doing a Google Search Console, just go ahead and use this side, the URL prefix, just put it in there. And if you have your internet, your Gmail that's associated with Google Analytics opened up at the same time as this one, usually what I do is I knock out all my Gmails and just have the one that's related. It will find the analytics and it'll hook it up automatically for you. So that's what you want to set up as well, because it does, I'll show you what it does give you. It gives you a better list of search terms coming in that you don't get from the Google, the regular analytics. So it gives you keyword phrases coming in a little bit stronger. It does do landing pages. There's a difference. I'm not entirely sure the differences. I read them both and kind of look at them both, but it does give you a bit more information. And actually the council itself logged in has got some new features in as well. It does site audits and stuff, and it gives you some more information related to your overall site. So it's definitely worth setting up.
For keywords, right? I hear you on that.
Yeah, so this is the main thing I like, is it gives you the keywords coming in. So you know what was triggering, and you can look at your pages and see what drove in your content, your users.
What do you how do you feel about like all these websites which say type in your query and we'll give you like an idea about the highest word search on Google, Amazon, YouTube, things like that?
I hate them. I hate them. And I'll tell you why. I'll give you hate them with a caveat with an asterisk on it, is initially when you don't quite have a good sense, I think the human sets it up and then you go to them when you know you have a sense of a winner. I don't trust the AI because it has to understand that value prop and it's too stupid. So what I've done, I've used those tools in the start, but they're giving you, and maybe you get lucky, but I find they shoot you out stuff that is just AI and it's not really relevant and you're not really strategically driving what you want to drive. So your human mind is beating the machines on that. The use I see for them is once you have some keyword phrases that are working, you may want to do variations. That's when I jump into them. So you'll see when I did that first thing for me, I ignored that aspect, and you should sort of think it through yourself and try to get inside consumer behaviors. My first link I say before you go to the AI and let them shoot all this stuff, because that stuff comes out is really sketchy, and you need to, my view is you need to know the environment a bit before you push and let the AI take over. Because if you don't know, I don't trust it. That's what I'm going to say. Especially Google AdWords, it's a beast. They're just ripping the hell out of you.
Oh yeah.
They just want to give you all these low yield words because they don't give a crap about your success or failure. They just want to take all your money. So that is that one. Sean, will be there? I think we hit you.
Right here.
Okay. So who is next? Dana. I see Dana. Just a long time. I know you sent me a message a long time ago, Dana. I will say it's still sitting in my inbox. I didn't kill it, but never got to it, so I apologize. It's linked to something. I was saving it, and it's been bothering me forever. So hopefully I can cover it off now, and I'll feel less guilty, because once a week I see your message, and I know I'm not responding to you. I feel like shit.
It's reading week. That's why I have sometimes.
Okay.
Like I was working with one marketing agency. I don't wanna to get involved in marketing so much because it's very hard. It's not my field at all.
Yeah.
But my question is that how I can know that they are working in the right side.
Okay. What I would say on that is my first measure of an agency that I look for, and this is, so I could say for myself, this is the way I approach it. I don't expect anybody to trust me. So what I look for in the agency is breaking this thing down into smaller pockets that are measurable. So they can give you a plan. They should have some strategic plan of what they're going to do and why. They should present that to you. And they should have stages where they can be measured. They need to put themselves up for evaluation and not do an entire document where they're going to, go to the very end and then, win or lose, but they should break it down into sequences with measures, and you should be able to evaluate the measures, and they should stand by themselves, and they should have some sort of metric that they say they can get you, and they should prove it through sequencing. So for example, maybe the first thing they do is SEO landing pages. They could say, we're going to build these 4 pages. We're going to try to get, and they could be really miserly. Let them be simple. We're only going to get you maybe 100 clicks over the next 3 months if they're realistic, and then let them judge that and put it up that way. So I would say, first of all, make sure they break it down into smaller segments. And I'll go back to one more thought on that is, one thing I'll find on agencies you've got these two animals. You got these theory people full of bullshit, but they have no sense of where they're going. And you don't know whether the theory is bullshit to some extent, but they're in that space. And I tell you, they're crappy. You've got another type of agency that are purely tactically driven. Like, we're going to give you 1,000 followers, but they never thought it through. And maybe they will. They go to an India app farm where somebody clicks all the likes on Instagram in 1 hour and they think, wow, we've done great. But they're so tactically oriented. So what you need to do in your evaluation is make sure somehow they're being evaluated on driving that conversion that you're looking for. Don't let them play around in the weeds on the theory or the tactics. You lock them down to some sort of number, dollar outcome. Don't let them, because they're going to try to hide from you if they're shitty. They will try to bamboozle you with crap, like lifetime value and all this shit.
We will not guarantee anything for you. We are working, but we cannot guarantee, like.
But those idiots, those idiots say, look, I know you can't guarantee this, but you give me an estimation. You can't do marketing without some sort of valuation number. You give me a bloody number here or a range that you expect. And if they can't give you that, throw them out.
So would this work based on what Dana's saying? Is it Dana or Dana?
Dana. Oh, have I got it wrong, Dana?
So I'm just wondering.
It's Dana. It's
Dana?
Yeah.
Dana? Okay, I've been saying it wrong too. Sorry, John. Thanks, Dana.
Okay.
So if I'm just throwing my 2 cents in there, just to understand that. What I'd say is it's absolutely true. Not everybody who may come to your site, some may come by mistake, some may come because they actually want to come to your site. But the end result, if you're looking for like a buy, the easiest one to put onto them is visitors per day. So if they're building
something, they got to get a number. If they can't give you a number, they're full of shit. They have no trust in themselves. And I can tell you, I have a sense of where things can go as a consultant. And if they don't have a sense, it means they don't know what the hell they're doing because they have no understanding of what they can do. Like, I could say to you, I can't guarantee you a front page, but I can give you a long tail keyword and say, I'll get you a front page in a week. I know this shit, and they should know this shit, or else get them out.
Okay, because this is the second agency that we are working with, and the first one wasn't working at all. Like, they just taking money from you without anything.
Yeah, they're all full of shit. I would say 95% agencies are full of shit. Oh, we've got so much editing. Sorry, Tanya. They're all full of crap.
Oh, I think he was better before.
I think shit, is that now a swear word? Maybe it's a biological function. I know we should be calling it out at this stage. So maybe I'm going to defend myself. I just said it again. Oh my God. They're going to be blurred. I'm going to be blurring my face and blurring my mouth is what's going to be happening. But yeah, so Dana, you're getting Dana, I'm saying it right? No, you sent me how to spell it. Okay, sorry.
Dana.
Okay, so my brain is now locked in anyway after that huge debate we have. I'm totally lost. So, but anyway, don't trust them. They're evil. Marketers are evil. I'm telling you, I'm a marketer. We're evil. So you've got to control them, and they've got to get some numbers, and you have to be able to evaluate them. They're stealing your money. You're correct on that.
Okay.
So you make them real.
Okay. Do you have any suggested marketing agency?
No, for money, I could say my student club is good. I think did I tell you about that one? I'm going to give you a link. I know they're honest because I make them honest. And I don't make any money, so I have to be honest for everybody because it's really for the students and for the clients. I'll give you a link here. I would go into here. What I've got is I've got a club where I take the best students out of the classes. And I say, look, you've got potential. Why? And they want to work in digital when they graduate. So you're getting keeners who are really listening to stuff and knowing the stuff. And they've been working through clients. We're doing this now really active for 8 months where we've got some paid clients, bringing them through. And they're not that expensive. They're trying to learn as much as gain money. So the money is sort of a nice little perk. So they can do this rather than work at, Tim Hortons or McDonald's or something. So it's, what the hell, I got an extra 5-6 hours in a week. I'm trying to get some extra money. So that's the nature of the club. And you could even bring in your document if you want the club to take a look at it. I think it'd be an interesting exercise for us. We could look at it and say if they're bullshitting you or not and make them real. our Danny, you could even, I think you stopped Engage with the Edge, but Engage with the Edge, you could set the mentoring meeting, you could get 3 or 4 proposals. But I do know another prof who teaches digital at Sheridan. Her son has a company, and she got 10 quotes. And those 10 quotes, she said they were all full of BS. They were just idiots, all of them. She said, she knew the industry enough to know that they were giving her garbage. There's so much junk out there because you got these little geeks who think a social post, making a pretty post is what they do. They don't understand the need to drive the sales, and they don't care. And they think they put up all this great stuff and that's good. Or they'll give you just general theory and ideas. When they start to execute, there's no reason or rhyme, and they don't drive to your money. So they should, as an agency, they should be, first of all, thinking, my job is to get you money, because that's how I'm going to keep you. If I give you money, I know you're going to give me more money. So but if they have no confidence, or they're shysters, they're going to just float around and pretend, because they're going to charge you whatever and grab the money out of you and then go on to their next kill.
Yeah, because the regular excuse is, that SEO is a long-term process. So that
And it is. It can take, like, I've had clients on the edge, like the Power Fraction, the example I showed you. It took us about 8-9 months. But what I did is I prefaced it, and they knew that. And I did give them a strategy that I knew at some point would yield. And again, I remember about 6 months, they're all looking at me like, Garrett, you're an idiot. You led us down a path of a terrible path. But then we got some keywords with the content building. We started to get some traction. And then now they're glowing. They got some great SEO. So
let me ask you a very simple question, because each page has a limited amount of SEO you can do on it.
Yeah. So you've got to build multiple articles. If you were really serious, you'd build like hundreds of articles over time, all on specific SEO elements. Because what you got to remember on that, so Dan, I'll come back to you a bit on this more if I haven't covered it, but what you got to remember is Google wants to line up a keyword with the page, and it doesn't want confusion. So you're better to be specific around a keyword phrase concept and not confuse Google. If you get it too confused, it's not going to know what you are. It's not going to put you in for search. So it's really about 800 words of content tightly associated with one aspect that you're pulling into. So for example, my lawnmower example, I've got one page where I'm talking only about the damn stereo speakers. And then I'm going to SEO it on riding mower with stereo speakers. And I'm going to get that because my page is so tight. And if I really want to go crazy, I'm going to do 2,000 words and show examples. I'm going to get that search phrase. Nobody can beat me, because the big companies can't do that level of detail you're doing anyway. They don't need it. But that's how you, as a smaller sort of, I always think of the rat and the dinosaurs. You got the little mammal in the freezing period there, where you can be more nimble and do a lot more than they ever could do. You can niche off like they never could.
So question here for you based on what you just said. So for example, Dana's thing, product, my product, for example, how would it be able to do this? So like to give you an example. So when it comes to trash can cleaning, etc., garbage bags, I'm pretty strong. But what if I'm making an article on, like, say, food and good recipes and how to dispose of it properly to help the world? You know what I mean? Would that confuse Google regarding?
Yeah, that would confuse Google. So if you went into food prep and stuff, Google would be confused. I wouldn't go to that level. I would stick around, you know what I mean? And then you're going to confuse it. So when Google they look at you, all the pages of your site, and they define what you are. You don't want to throw in something that, I know from SEO, maybe you get some benefits, but you may confuse Google too much.
Okay.
So I would go to the rest.
Kind of touching or rimming the whole, basically your premise of what you all actually do.
Yeah, I stay within the zone of what you are. And I know you could maybe build some SEO and maybe get some traction, but you may drive down your entire site because it'll be confused, because it spiders through everything and determines your content. It's neat. Search Council used to have an awesome thing, and maybe it's back again, but it was great. You used to go to Search Council and you'd look at your site, and Google would look at your site and tell you the top 20 words, keyword phrases that it recognizes. It was a beautiful tool. And there's got to be, I think SEM Rush Rods is doing it now, but look through your site, it was so neat. So you'd say, shit, this is how they see me. So, and that's how it works. Google's trying to identify probability of keywords as how they're associated with your site.
Makes sense.
Cool. Dana, did I answer your question?
Yes. Is it possible to share with you the plan that they are working with? Not right now. Like, can I book an appointment?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I can see pretty quickly for whether it's full of BS or not.
I don't have it on this laptop, that's why.
Okay. Yeah, we can book me. I'll take a look. I'll tell you. Very quickly, I could tell all the shysters out there. And again, most of them are, so I can tell you.
Like they give me many missions and they ask me what do you want us to do?
We'll see. They should have tasks for you. A good agency is going to push about 50% it back to you on content building because they can't do it the effective way. But I can look at it and I can tell you whether they're shysters or not.
Okay, that's perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, even I would like, if possible, like love to have you like come on my site, just like tell me this is garbage, get rid of it, keep it. Like, I don't think that works. I would love to get that.
Sure. Yeah. And again, so what Tiana is going to give you the edge with you. If you're not part of the edge, you can join it and get the mentoring from me. And then you can basically book appointments whenever you even get the space in there to fill it in. And if you are an Edge mentor, the booking link is already shared, so you're ready to go on that. So certainly anybody who wants to sit down, we have no problem going over stuff.
Thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, hearing a follow-up email, so look out for that.
Email came to me?
No, for everyone else.
Oh, okay, yeah. Tiana's going to give you an email telling you the whole drill. So where did we go? Did we go through the hour and a half?
Yes.
Holy crap, that went fast. It wasn't that boring either. I don't know. Everybody annoyed? Zara's annoyed because she knew all this anyway. She's thinking, Garrett, you wasted my time.
Review. I'm always happy to listen in to what you have to say. It's always been helpful for me, so I'm here. Cool.
Zara's a nonprofit beast, so she's going to teach me mentoring. She doesn't know that yet entirely. So is any last question? Quick, when we get like the radio talk show where you're going into the end and you try to get the last one in for the commercial. Any last questions?
I'll leave it open for everybody else. I think I've spoken too much.
No, it was good, Sean. Thank you. Any last questions? Okay, I think it kind of worked. There was only 3 topics. I'm surprised how fast things went. I guess I talked so much. I already noticed.
Well, if there's no questions, we can end the session here.
Wait, I have a question.
Oh, go ahead.
So in ways of selling, now obviously I understand that you're talking about a website. How do you think influencers or even like homeowners would work as marketers of your product if they were given the right incentive?
Definitely influencers are an awesome way to go. And especially in Instagram, I find good results with that. And even in general, you can. The only thing there that influences, one caveat I'm going to say is you should have a base before you bring them into the game, because you're going to influencer driving somebody into sort of a light property or wasting that bandwidth. But they can work. And the neat thing is, if you do that evaluation of benefits and your target audience, you could take your persona and see who influences your persona, and you could put them as part of the campaign document planning I'm talking about. You can build influencers as a tactic in there, and it can fit everything else. So I guess I'm saying to you, strategically use them and just don't use them on a one-off situation. Drive them into a total campaign, and certainly they're a great tactic.
Okay.
Definitely.
Like I get environmentalists, retailers, reviewers, things like that. And so on the same lines, you're on the same lines. Yeah,
you can use them, but like I say, make sure that you don't. And micro works really well. You can get, so what happens, a smaller influencer, even 1,000 followers or something, usually if they have a really tight niche, those people will be a lot more reactive than a mega influencer that has people that don't give a crap and they're random. So if you get a nice tight, positioned influencer has a great overlap with your stuff, they can be really, really impressive. And you pick up about 10 of them, you can build yourself a really nice campaign, bring them in.
Do you know
but
what's the
drive them
best
into the whole process.
influencers?
There is actually, there's something I can't tell you, but I think if you Google, there's a place that actually lines them up. But the way I would get influencers is I would go through the social properties myself, profiles, and I would kind of seek them out and I would find them myself to some extent. And then reach out and say, look, this is what I have. It fits with what you're doing. I'll give you this. Can you do this for me?
No, makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, you're on overtime.
Well, if there's no more questions, I would like to thank everyone for joining. I put 2 links in the chat. One is our upcoming sessions and one feedback form. I'll also be sending a follow-up email, so watch out for that. But thank you, Garrett, for having this session, and thank you everyone else for coming and coming with questions. It was a great conversation, and that's it. Thank you, guys.
Thanks everybody. I was actually worked half-assed okay, so I'm happy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Garrett. So I'll be dropping you an email. Then have a good day.
Find me on LinkedIn too. Send me a LinkedIn. Tell me to give my LinkedIn.
Okay, I will do
Okay,
that.
cool. Okay, awesome. Thanks everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Take care.
Have a good